They took me to the jail.
Took you to jail.
For 5 days, and they pressured me to deny everything. He said, you have to write a letter and say that everything is a lie. And I say, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that because I have the evidence that it is real.
Right.
So I can say it's
Right.
false. If I say that, it means that I'm a liar.
Right. That I participated in a fraud.
I'm doing something incredible that could change
Yeah.
the understanding of the evolution in the earth. Let me work.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. As many of you know, I flew to Mexico City last month, and I saw with my own 2 eyes extraterrestrial bodies, tridactyl beings. It was a remarkable experience. And today, I brought in Dr. José Zalce, the Mexican Navy forensic doctor, the scientist who has spent years analyzing the data and testing these bodies. And he has a lot to say about them. If you don't believe that extraterrestrials are real and among us, watch this podcast and let me know where the science is flawed. Can't wait to hear it. You guys sit back and enjoy this one. It's one of a kind. Welcome to Far Out with Faust, everybody. I am Faust Chicho, and today I'm excited, I'm honored, I'm delighted to be joined all the way from Mexico City, Dr. José Zalce. Let me tell you about Dr. José. He's been a military man in the Navy in Mexico for decades now, right? And he is a forensic doctor, and that's what he does for the military and has been doing. And as many of you have been made aware, I've recently taken a trip to Mexico City, and I got to see some of the incredible things that Dr. Zalce was working on. And we met and we headed off, and so here we are. I'm excited. If you have any interest in the they're known as the Nazca Mummies. This is going to be a mind-blowing podcast for you. We're going to dive deep into that. So sit back and buckle up. We're going for a ride. Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you to you, Faust. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I made the travel from Mexico City, and it's awesome to be here.
Yes.
It's a privilege.
Awesome. It's awesome to have you. So we were speaking last night at dinner, and I was telling you how my first impression when I saw Jaime's press conference, which you were probably at, but I didn't know who you were at the time. My intuition said, these are real, you know. And last night when we spoke, you said, and when I say these, for those of you watching, you'll be able to see, I'm referring to what has been known as the kind of silly because they're not mummies, but they look like mummies, the Nazca Mummies, these organic life forms that were found in Peru, right near the Nazca lines. And they've become kind of known as the Nazca Mummies, but they're, what do they call them? They're tridactyls.
Tridactyls?
Tridactyls.
But actually they are dehydration bodies.
They're what rotation?
Dehydration.
Oh.
So there are bodies that all the water take off of the body, dehydrated.
Oh, okay. Dehydrated.
Dehydrated.
Right, okay.
Yes, bodies.
So yeah, and so they look mummified because they're so desiccated.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are desiccated.
So let's start at the beginning. Back in 2017, a grave looter in Peru reportedly uncovered a strange set of, what he thought were mummified bodies in the Nazca region. So you set the stage for us. How did you tell us how you became the forensic expert at the center of a discovery that, if given its proper due, I believe could redefine human history on this planet?
Wow, what a great question. Well, the person who discovered these bodies in Nazca, Peru, he discovered this in 2016. But Jaime Maussan received the call from his friends, Joyce Mantilla from Peru, and also from a Mexican biologist, José de la Cruz, who told him everything about these bodies to Jaime. Jaime was looking who can analyze these bodies, and I don't know who, but his friends maybe told him, you need a forensic expert to do that. So Jaime looked around, who is the forensic in Mexico, and he find me. He called my phone. I don't know how he found it, but he called me and he said to me, Jose, you want to see strange bodies in Peru? Come with me. And I say, okay, it's a good adventure. I want to travel to Peru because I never been there. So in April 2017, we went to Peru. And for the first time, I looked at bodies that changed my whole mind and my whole life.
Wow. And when you first saw them, did they had not moved them yet? Were they still where they were, or were they had been moved from the cave that they were found?
Okay. Well, we actually arrived in the Incari Institute because the director of the Incari Institute in Cusco has these bodies, and we went to his office, and he showed us some kind of boxes, and inside these boxes he has 3 skulls and 2 mummified antiques, really strange. And the first time I saw that, I said, this is fake. This is not real. And I turned around with Jaime and I said to him, we travel by nothing. And we are trying to leave that place when Thierry Yamin said, okay, don't move. That was I don't know how to say it, but this is like he told us that he did that as a proof. If I has good eye to saw that, and he said, okay, the forensic has the knowledge because this is fake.
So he was a test.
Yes, it's like a test. Thank you for the word test. And he said, okay, the forensic is right because this is fake.
Right.
Now I gonna show you the real. And I say, okay, what's the difference?
Right.
Okay. And he brings two little bodies, 60 centimeters of high, that later we put the names Josefina and Albert. But he brings that 2 bodies, and I said, okay, this is not a fake. This could be something real. And I start analyze these bodies because their structure seems to me very strange but organic. There was no any line of they are assembled.
Assembled, yeah.
They are completely organic. And then I found in the hand of one of these bodies, the hand, tridactyl, the hand.
3-fingered hand.
Yes, 3-fingered hand. They had the one body has the finger curved. So I took I don't know how to say the
like a sample.
No the sample. This
glass the
measurement, and I saw the ligaments from this finger running up to the arm and finish in his
elbow. Yeah.
Elbow. So I said, okay, this is not a made stuff.
Right.
This is something real. So I turn around with Jaime and I say, okay, this is different. This seems to be real, but I need to take X-rays to prove that it's not assembled inside of the body. Jaime request that X-rays, and Thierry Yamin come with the X-ray he already have. And I examine the X-ray and I say, okay, this is very interesting because the joints are organic. the joints are natural, not artificial. And the joints has everything to prove they once have a movement. And I say, okay, this is real, but I don't know how they took these X-rays.
Right.
Please, we need a new X-rays. The next day, we went to the X-rays. We took them. I stay inside the room, and I saw everything. And the whole body is completely organic. The whole joints, the vertebrae, the joints, everything, the skull, everything is completely real. So that was exciting because we are in front of something we never met before.
Right.
And we saw something very interesting. One of these bodies, Josefina, has 3 eggs in his belly.
I saw the,
That's the thing, change everything.
That's I saw, and we'll show this. If you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, you'll be able to see. I have an incredible video of these X-ray scans that show Josefina and the 3 eggs, and then because they used the X-rays, and then they did even more scans, because I saw some video where you can see the ligature, you can see the what's left of the muscles, and you can actually see the little. I mean, they look like eggs, but they also look like little fetuses, I guess. Like what else would you call them? Not exactly the way humans, develop, but certainly in a similar place in the belly, and I understand that the DNA testing came back, and it was 90% similar to 90% like ours, and 10% they were not.
Okay.
They weren't certain. Is that? Do you remember if that's?
I remember that, and there is something that I want to clarify here.
Yeah.
When we made that X-rays and found that 3 eggs in the belly of Josefina, many people said, okay, there are stones. And I said, no, because the stones don't let you see behind. And these eggs let you see behind and let you see inside.
Translucent.
Translucent, yes. So this is not a stone. This is a calcified egg by dehydration, by desiccated process.
Right.
But this is an egg. But if you want to be more precise, we need to make a tomography. TC scans.
Yeah.
Yes, tomography, TC scans. And the next day we made that, and we found something incredible. Besides these 3 eggs, we find a 4th egg. This egg is less than 1 millimeter of size.
Wow.
And this egg is inside an oviduct. The oviduct is the whole process, in the birds,
right?
And in the chickens, you can see this oviduct is where the eggs become, and they move into the belly and then grow up.
Wow!
So if we can be able to saw this 4th egg, to saw the oviduct, and also the whole trajectory of the oviduct finish in the belly, where the 3 eggs are bigger, different size but bigger. So you have in this TC scan, in this tomography, you can find the organicity of the body. They were alive. They were in a process of well-done reproduction,
right.
Biological reproduction, and you see many structures that the human mind can be replicated.
Right.
And I say, okay, I'm 99.999%. This is real.
Wow.
And since since that point, everything changed.
Yeah, everything changed for you, for your life, and we're going to get into the, kind of the ramifications of what you were able to ascertain from these tests, and then what we're going to talk about what happened afterwards, because that's a whole nother section. But so when I looked at these X-rays, and we'll show this for our video watchers. You could see the rib cage. It's similar, but different. It's very circular, and it's very straight down. It's hard to know if the bodies are that kind of angular, or if that's just the way that they perished, because maybe they didn't have food, or maybe they were stuck. But the biology seems to be humanoid, but not exactly. The skulls are consistently much bigger. The vertebrae and the shoulder, everything seems to be a little different than us. And they have 3 fingers, and they don't have a thumb. Or is that like so?
It's correct.
The question is, I wonder how. I mean, because our thumbs, our biology and evolution teaches us that it's our thumbs that really helped propel us into a lot of things. But when the fact that these beings don't have opposable thumbs, and the fact that their reproductive system seems to be more of what we observe in, aviary, or what's the word for bird species. And bird species generally have
3 fingers.
Yeah, and maybe they have a little talon, but not all of them.
You are completely right.
Yeah. So that's, what did you think when you were trying to figure out like the rib cage and the fingers and because they also have 3. It's 3 fingers and 3 toes. It's the same. Just like humans, we have 5 and 5. They got 3 and 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Where did your imagination go when you were trying to figure out?
Well.
Yeah.
That's a great question, because actually we went to Peru in 2017 with this guy, the biologist José de la Cruz. Mm-hmm. We went with him. He's a great biologist. And talking with him, our minds go thinking about birds and reptiles. So if you remember the anatomy of a crocodile,
crocodile, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you put this body of the crocodile bipedestal,
right, stand it up, yeah.
It's exactly the same of the mummies.
Wow.
So
wow.
That's very interesting, because when we go deeper in the analysis of these bodies, we realize this thing. First of all, the skin is different. The skin is something like a reptile, like a frog. Okay?
Like scales.
Okay. The skin is like similar that the frogs.
Like the frogs.
Like a frogs.
Oh, okay.
And also has a microscope. When the birds has the birds has I don't know how to say plume.
Plume, yeah.
Yeah, the plume. They have plumes. Well, this skin has the residual plume of this body. So it's pretty close to think they was with plumes, mini plumes,
yeah,
in the skin.
Wow,
that's what difference. The second, you are talking about the tridactyl hands and tridactyl feet. Yes, they doesn't have a
opposable thumb.
Okay, so this finger is very long, because if you see, we have 3 phalanges, 1, 2, and 3 phalanges.
Right.
Okay. Most of all species has 3 phalanges. Okay. This body has 5.
Oh.
5 phalanges.
Oh.
Plus metacarpus. Okay. And metatarsus.
So what does the metacarpus do?
The metacarpus is this bone inside of our hands,
Right.
and metatarsus is in the feet.
Right.
Long bones, but inside of the whole body, the structure. And the phalanges, we have 3. Well, this specimen, this skeleton, has 5
Wow.
phalanges plus the metacarpus. So they are very long. That
That would have made
allows
them opposable.
that species made this movement of involvement to hold everything.
Yeah.
So if it's long, they can involve and hold whatever they want to take. Okay,
Because the
Involving.
metacarpal would act as almost like a
Yes.
thumb,
Yes,
and they have more articulation.
they have longer fingers, and they can involve whatever they want to take.
Wow.
In the feet, this long finger permits run faster.
Oh,
Okay, and make it jump higher.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
I'm still blown away by what you said about when you look at the X-ray of a crocodile, you see that at least from
from the
the
neck,
neck
to down,
very similar.
it's very similar. Wow. And also, you have the truth. The ribs,
Yeah.
they are completely circular. We have a pair of ribs because they are not completed and they joined by the sternum. Okay, in this specimen, they are completely circle.
Wow.
They don't have the sternum. Okay, so what happened with this? That the thorax can move and expand different to go higher and to go smaller
Right.
in his size. That's the one difference. And second one, the vertebral column, the
vertebrae column,
the
yeah.
axis, okay, of the vertebral column has many vertebrae, but in the neck, they have only 4 vertebrae, but they have the disc between each vertebra was contractile.
Oh,
So the neck could be retractile, like exactly like the turtles do. Exactly like the turtles.
wow, that's wild. So they had more not only more articulation with their fingers and toes, but also because of the vertebrae in their neck, they were able to expand or contract in a way that would have given them almost the way a turtle
And
can,
also more movement, more capability of movement.
like a chameleon almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, it permits that the whole skull can make different position, because if you know it in the species that we know as normal,
Right.
the vertebra is in the end of the skull. So you divide the skull in third,
Right.
front, medium, and posterior skull. Well, the vertebra in the normal species are in the end of the skull. Okay, the vertebra in this species is just in the middle, just right in the middle, make the equilibrium of the skull perfect. And also we have the magnum the space when the skull joins to the vertebra.
Right.
We have the magnum hole,
Right.
the magnum hole. It's circular.
Right.
Well, in this species is completely cube.
No kidding.
It's completely cube. So it made me think that the movement of that skull, it's very different that we know in the anatomy of the species. But thinking in birds or thinking in reptiles, it could be possible.
Right. Right. And it would certainly, the biology is there to reflect that capacity, you know. So it's an excellent hypothesis. You know, it's hard. You know, we it's funny because I remember we watch TV and they do specials on the dinosaurs, and they can from the skeleton alone, they can begin to animate them and show how they would have moved. That would be a fascinating project for someone of that area who, because they want to show you how this, the dire wolf, the saber-toothed tiger, how that they would have been able to run, the giant cave bear, and because of their different anatomy, they had different abilities, and so it would be fascinating to see if maybe someone one day can take the skeletal structure of these bodies, of these beings, and just using common sense and data points, see how they would move, based on the biology. That would be a really cool.
It would be amazing if someone do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
We'll have to talk to Jaime.
Yes, it's a good option.
Yeah, that's amazing. I had no idea.
Let me tell you something else.
Sure.
In the school, the whole head is very strange because the face is very compact.
Yeah.
So the eyes are bigger and they are outside of the skull. So the eyes go out and move like a chameleon.
Oh.
It's so the species can see more angle, more degrees or degrees.
More degrees, yeah.
More degrees. It is more capable, and the face is very small. But the space inside the skull for holding a brain is bigger.
Big.
It's huge. So it seems to be very interesting thing what kind of brain were inside of this, because it's a big brain comparing with the size of the body, comparing with the size of the skull. That was a very interesting issue because the brain is important to develop his intelligence.
Yeah, and brain size has always been linked to intelligence. We see dolphins have big brains, and we know that they're vastly intelligent. Animals. More. They say next to primates, dolphins and whales are the only kind of sentience in animal. Like a dolphin can look in the mirror, and it's not. It doesn't think that that's anything but a reflection of itself.
Yes.
And that's a level of consciousness that we see only in primates and dolphins and whales. Which is remarkable. But these beings sound, they sound very sentient to me to a degree, at least to the degree that we see in many other like those are animals like dolphins and primates, and you can see the intelligence in their eyes. It's fascinating because they were not wearing clothes. They were all found with. I mean, the clothes may have. I guess you could say that maybe, but there was no remnants, right?
No,
there was no remnants. The bodies were all completely nude, and there was a pretty big size variation. I mean, everything from what you saw under the microscope, which is just unbelievable, and speaks to the people who believe that this is some kind of extremely elaborate hoax. I'm not sure how you finesse that into your fraudulent experiment of craziness. The fact that you saw this microscopic egg, and you could see the tract. It's speaks to how true and organic and invalid that this discovery was.
Only the nature can do that.
Only
the nature.
That's right. Only in nature. So these, there was some confusion, of course, online. I think, of course, deliberately created because there was different sets of specimens. Right, some seized by Peru, and they were labeled as fake, and others were the focus of your work that we've been talking about. And but there was. I'm not referring to the initial test that you were given, but afterwards there was an elaborate hoax that was put forth to discredit this discovery. And what did you learn about that, and how did when did that go down, and who do you think was responsible for it?
Okay, well, Uh, I think happened two things. The first of all, many people wants to have one of these bodies.
Right.
So other people found the opportunity to make money. So the second thing was Jaime said, if someone in the world can replicate this, I give them.
Right. If you can make a hoax like this good, give you a reward.
I pay you. I
Right.
give you a reward. So many people wants to have easy money,
Right.
even to sold these bodies to Jaime, or even to sold to everyone who wants it.
Right.
So there was one guy. If I'm not making a mistake here, then the last name is Casablanca, Joselito Casablanca, I think. He said, I can do that. And he took many pieces of chicken
bones and
llama and everything and put it together and put many things inside. But what's the most important thing in here? When you took one of the
chicken bones
on everything, you need two things: how to put together everything and how to cover all over, like the skin,
like what happens in actual bodies.
So when the Peruvian police took off these two bodies in the airport, obviously when they broke it, they broke it easily. They broke it and found glue inside. And obviously when they took some samples, they were shaking.
Right. They were like, it's fake. Yeah.
It's fake. But this is the first mistake the scientific community must know. If you want to talk for something in special, you must to talk from since the same point of view. What's I'm trying to say here? If I study something, you have to come and study the same thing I'm studying.
Right.
To get an opinion from the same point, okay? Mm-hmm. But if I'm studying something and you studying another thing, obviously it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So this hoax, this fraud of that bodies, yes, it happens. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was fake. But the guy who made it said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Said, I made it.
This was
he said, I made it. So
it was, but I think they used that then to discredit and because they know people will say, see, told you it was fake, because that's what people love to do. They love to dismiss instead of try to comprehend a new understanding of the world.
That's it. Something I want to add in this, the Ministry of Culture of Peru took his experts, archaeologist experts, and they said one of the first declaration of that was, we made some analysis and we mistake, we made I don't know, say contamination.
It was a contaminated specimen.
We say we manipulate that with our hands and we contaminate the proofs. We contaminated it. But it'll still be fake. So if the expert of the Ministry of Culture say that they contaminate by himself the samples, well, we can talk about a reality.
Right.
So please go to the original bodies and study only the original bodies to talk from the same point of view.
Right.
That's it.
That is science 101.
101.
You know what I mean? That's why you don't compare apples and pineapples, don't apples and oranges. It's like they're different. You can't, So
you said it better than me. That's it.
So, very quickly after these specimens went public, of course, there was critics, there was the Peruvian authorities we were just talking about. It seems to me like it was a bit of a concerted effort, which I say that because there was also a concerted effort to get you, after you had come, using all the data you got from the scans and the tests. I guess Jaime had set up a press conference, for you to just honestly discuss what you found, what the data says. You guys weren't announcing, the existence of extraterrestrials. You were simply reporting on the bodies that were found and the results you got. Okay. But there was a whole storm of things that followed after you appeared, as you do with your work, and did a press conference on your findings. I'm sure it's not the first time you had to report on studies you were doing, I know that began a very troublesome time for you because you had your results, and you're a man of integrity, and but it came to a point where your rank was taken away in the Mexican military. Your pay that went along with that rank was taken away, and as I understand it, it was because you wouldn't back off what the data was saying and the truth of it, and that's what seems to me clearly what they wanted you to do.
Okay, this a tough situation because it still hurts in my heart.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Why does it still hurt in your heart?
Because I love the Navy. I am who I am thanks to the Navy, the Mexican Navy. The Mexican Navy gave me my career as a medical doctor. The Mexican Navy gave me my post-degree as a forensic man. And also the Mexican Navy gave me my family, everything I have. So I love the Mexican Navy. But some people inside the Mexican Navy feels angry and punish me to work with Jaime Maussan. And I think this is a misunderstood thing. As you say, this discovery of the Nazca Mummies is something that the scientific community has to know and go deeper in the analysis of that bodies. But this discovering of at minimum two new species in the Earth, this discovery was led by Jaime Maussan. Jaime Maussan was related with the extraterrestrial and UFO analysis.
Right.
It doesn't mean that these bodies are extraterrestrial.
Right.
But the people who wanted to discredit this use that to say that these bodies are extraterrestrial. Wait a second here. The whole scientifics that we are analyze these bodies, the whole scientifics, no one of us are saying they are extraterrestrial. All of us are saying are at minimum two new species. That's all. That's all. If they are in the Earth and we don't know where we don't
where
know
they came from, right? Where they went.
We don't know that.
Right.
So at this point, there are at minimum two new species in the Earth. At minimum, at this time.
Right.
But the bad people related with Jaime Maussan said, "Oh, they are saying there are extraterrestrial." That's a lie.
Right.
Well, this goes to my bosses, my boss in the Navy, and he said, okay, Zalce, you are putting in risk the honor and the credibility of the Navy, so you are dangerous for the Navy. They took me to the jail.
They took you to jail
for 5 days.
Wow.
And they pressured me to deny everything.
Right.
He said, you have to write a letter saying that Jaime Maussan pressured you. You have to write a letter and say that everything is a lie. You must take your words out,
right,
and say everything is a lie. And I say, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that because, one, I have the evidence that it is real.
Right.
So I can say it's
right.
false. Second of all, if I say that, it means that I'm a liar.
Right. That I participated in a fraud.
So you think I am a fraud, and that's not real. And third of all, I'm doing something incredible that could change the understanding of the evolution in the earth. Let me work.
Right.
Because the fourth thing, I'm doing this in my free time by my own, not from the Navy, not with things from the Navy, not by the name of the Navy. No, I'm doing it by my own. So let me work free. Let me say what I'm thinking free. And they say, okay, so if you don't change your declaration, you were removed of your post. I used to be a director, so they removed me. You will not be promoted, so with the rank, de-rank you, and and they moved me to another place to be away from Jaime Maussan and away from this work. And I suffer.
Yeah.
Also they took me to psychologist and psychiatrist. They tried to say that
that's old tactic.
That I'm crazy.
Right.
And they pressure these doctors,
of course,
psychologists and psychiatrists, and pressure them, and they declare me that I have problems in my mind.
That is the oldest tactic. They the United States did that extensively with their military men who claimed to have been experienced, had an abduction or interaction or saw a crash, and then talked about it. They would send them to certain psychiatrists, telling the psychiatrist, just, we want to make sure we're on record sending these guys to you for what we want to do next. And then, I don't know if you ever heard of John Mack. John Mack wrote a book. He ended up writing a book, which they were not happy about, but it kind of backfired. But it's an old tactic. They'll send you and they'll encourage the guy to just call him crazy, so we have it on record. I'm so sorry you went through that, but I'm
now you can understand that everything of this hurt me.
Yes,
everything on this made me feel sad.
I bet,
because I love the Navy, but some people.
There's a betrayal.
Some people of the Navy treat me really bad.
Wow. Yeah, I could see how, after all the years that you spent, working for them, honestly.
That's a crazy thing, because I working in the Navy for 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years. And they say, in the analysis of psychiatry, they said, okay, Dr. Zalce is not adapted to the Navy way of life.
What? Okay, you're not adapted. Who
I'm not adapted.
Who is?
I'm living there 3 years. So really, it hurts me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And then I know for those 5 days, your wife didn't know where you were. Your family, they didn't notify anyone. They just let you sit. They were going to try to they were hoping you would eventually just say, I'll say what you want. let me out of here, but you didn't, because you got a big heart and you're chock full of integrity. That's amazing.
What's the meaning for my child?
Yeah.
If they grow up knowing that his father is a liar, I never permit that. I never permit that. I'm sure what I'm doing, and I'm doing the truth.
Right.
So I'm still in that.
You are a rare breed of man.
I'm suffering, but I think it's normal. It's usual.
Well, and I think you're almost through it. I think that you're over the hump, and it's going to be downhill from here.
Someday it will be finished.
Yeah. So the age of these specimens. I was really surprised by this. I don't know why I was surprised, but I guess I thought they would be older, but I don't know how they would have been still intact at all if they were that much older, because I was in the same room as them, and you can see they're still desiccating, they're still dehydrating and powdery, and they look delicate.
Yes.
So how old are these species, or how old were these bodies, I should say, and how confident are you in those results that came back?
Okay, that's a good question. We are still talking about the small bodies. Okay?
Right.
Okay. We take samples of this, and we split these samples to Canada, to Mexico, and also to Russia with Dr. Konstantin Korokov in St. Petersburg University, Technological University. And we made carbon-14. We made on these samples carbon-14.
What do you mean you made carbon-14?
To take the data, how old these bodies...
carbon dating, yeah.
Carbon dating,
right.
Yes. And the results were amazing, because in 3 different places, Canada, St. Petersburg, Russia, and Mexico, the results are pretty the same. This body has around 700 years until 1,200 years of antiquity or age.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are very delicate, because if you touch it, they're broken as sand,
right?
Like a sand. They broke it so easy. But there is a very interesting thing here. These bodies are covered all over the body by a sand of diatomea. This diatomea is a kind of prehistoric algae that has microstructure, very, very difficult structure, micro structure, like this. So this diatomea sand doesn't permit that grow up fungus, doesn't permit that grow up fauna, the microfauna that
what would naturally degrade and eat away at...
And also dehydrate, desiccate the body. So that diatomea sand permits the conservation of the bodies.
Wow.
What's the problem in here? When the guy who discovered these bodies take out of the diatomea environment, this body restarted the
decomposition.
The decomposition process. So we need to protect these bodies, because if we don't protect them, in 10 years they'll be
dust. Yeah,
there will be a dust.
Are they are they hermetically sealed? I'm sure Jaime has them, at least the ones he's in possession of, and hermetically sealed, so that obviously, hopefully, can be stalled. So for further study.
Well, that's a good observation. The bodies that you saw in Mexico, there are 2. These bodies are with many diatomea dust
Right.
around them, and it's close in the crystal, protection.
Right.
So it's good, but not enough. Also, the bodies that are in the ICA's university, also that bodies are covered with diatomea dust, but it's not enough to preserve the
Right.
bodies because it's not protected like a high quality, like a museum.
Right.
So we have to do something to protect these bodies. If not, in 10 years we'll be dust.
Gone. Yeah. So just so I understand this correctly, so the reason why these bodies were so well preserved, and the reason why they ended up with the moniker, the name that they have, like the Nazca Mummies, was because what grew over the bodies where they were was kind of what you could call a prehistoric algae.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that the way that algae forms when it grows over something creates a almost like a structure or a lattice, which of course over time became maybe part of the reason why these things were not just then eaten by bacteria, by fungi, by the typical way nature recycles everything.
That's it.
Yeah.
You have to understand this. The people or whatever makes the body inside of borrowed the bodies, this person knows exactly what he's doing.
Wow.
Because the area where they used to be, it's a whole bunch of the diatomea sand, and they were inside of this.
Oh.
So the guy who discovered this has to cave to take them out.
Wow.
So they are well preserved because they were they
So that was
used to be in an
deliberate.
environment perfectly designed to conserve these bodies in diatomea. But advancing in the investigation, we discover in the skin some kind of chloruro de cadmio, cadmium chloride, who was painting in all over the skin. Over the cadmium chloride, over that, they put the diatomea sand. What's the main thing of this? The cadmium chloride, it's toxic. It's also to preserve organic tissues.
Because nothing will eat it.
That's it. And also it permits the well conservation of dehydrated or desiccated from these bodies.
Right.
But if we want to work with cadmium chloride, we need to use masks. Because the
Fumes.
evaporates, the fumes, is toxic. So the guy who made that 1,000 years ago,
My God.
knows exactly what he's doing.
Right. So, in other words, the preservation of the bodies, where they were found, and in what, it is. I think it's very safe and simply common sense and logical to say that whoever buried those bodies or put those bodies there knew what they were doing. There was a level of intelligence there, and
the intention to preserve.
with the intention to preserve the bodies, which is, Egypt, going back 2,000 years ago, they had all kinds of things they did to preserve the body, to ready the body, and it's not like this would be a foreign thing for us to understand 700, 1,000 years ago, so. But the fact that they were using, complex chemicals, and using them the way an artist would, while he's preparing a body to be buried, almost, is phenomenal. It's mind blowing, but I know there was also a silver alloy found. Well, first, you know what? You said there's 2 species, right?
Yes.
So when I saw the big discrepancy between the bodies, because some look, I saw one hand, that was, I think the hand started here,
Okay.
and the fingers started here, and that's about how big that hand was.
I understand.
And then I saw others that looked like they were this big, and I thought, well, one must be the child or the children, or one must be the maybe full-grown adult. But maybe I was assuming too much. Can you explain to me a little about that?
That's a very good point. Yes, there were these small bodies of 60 centimeters. That's one species. Okay? Then we show us new bodies just like us, around 160, 170 meters of higher. Okay? For example, Maria. Okay?
I remember, yeah.
That's the second species, but there is some small pieces, like this hand you are talking about.
Right.
This hand you are talking about, the size is 45 centimeters.
Right.
Okay, and your way of thinking is correct. This hand of 45 centimeters belongs to a body whose size is 2.5 or 3 meters of height.
Wow, yeah.
So it is possible that we can find a third different species. What's the only thing related between 3 species? These 3 species? The only thing who relate this is the three-fingered hand and three-fingered feet.
Right.
It's the only thing that relate that species.
Right.
I don't think they were grandfather,
Right.
mother, and so on. No, I think there are 3 different species at minimum.
Wow.
These 3 species, I have the chance to study only 2. The small bodies, 60 centimeters, one species that we are talking already, and the other, like it's pretty much similar to us. The big bodies from 120 until 170 meters of height. Okay?
And those, so you were able to look at those bodies as well. Did they have the same skeletal structure as the little ones, or is their skeletal structure?
It's different.
It's different.
It's different. These big bodies, like Maria, who is the most famous of all these bodies.
That's because she had Josefina had the eggs. Yeah.
Josefina is the small.
Oh, okay.
Is the small and has the eggs.
Okay.
Maria is the taller, and the species of Maria is pretty much like us. And we have already studied Maria, Sebastian, Santiago,
right.
Montserrat, and Montserrat has a fetus inside. The name of the fetus is Rafael, like my son.
Wow. So even the males, you were able to distinguish between the males and the females.
Yes.
And the males were also able to carry eggs.
In the small bodies, the 60 centimeters bodies, we are not able to distinguish the
male, female,
the male or female. We are not. We suppose the female has the eggs,
right?
But we don't see any kind of sex structures or organs. Okay, we can define the gender, but in the higher bodies like Maria, Josefina, Montserrat, Santiago, we can't find it because we find 2 things. We find the sexual organs in one male that the name is Antonio. We find the sexual organs, and the second one because Montserrat was pregnant and has a fetus inside. Also, the skeleton, the structure of the skeleton is pretty similar to us. So if we do anthropometric measures, we can define the pelvis of a female and the pelvis of a male, so we can describe more exactly which kind of gender has these big bodies.
Did it? So, just so I'm understanding this correctly. So, but apparently, even though you were able to distinguish that there was two genders, it still seemed like, at least in the bigger ones, the male could have eggs inside.
In the bigger specimens, they don't have eggs. In the bigger specimen, they have a pretty similar kind of reproduction, but analyzing Montserrat, we didn't find a normal vulva, a normal vagina in Montserrat.
Right.
So we think that the reproduction, the type of reproduction of Montserrat is pretty similar. There is a mammal specimen that we know as ornitorrinco, that who has the
Duck-billed platypus?
the body of castor,
Like a beaver almost.
a beaver, and the specimen I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think it's the duck-billed platypus.
Okay, ornitorrinco, we say it in Spanish. Okay. This ornitorrinco, this specimen, is the first kind of mammal.
Right.
Okay, in evolution, the mammal, like this, the reproduction is inside, and then took out the fetus and grow up in the back
pocket. Yeah.
Yes, in the bucket. We think Montserrat has something pretty similar like this.
Like a marsupial.
Like a marsupial, yes. Pretty similar. Not exactly, but similar.
Wow.
Okay? So the big species that we are talking, they are pretty like us as mammals, but at this moment, we doesn't find the mammals.
Right.
For example, Maria doesn't have a breast.
Right.
Montserrat doesn't have a breast.
Right.
Other than less, Paloma, that actually is the oldest body we find. Paloma, she has a breast.
Wow.
She has a breast. So it's very difficult to describe what happened in the bigger specimens.
Yeah. And so the size, you guys were not able to find. I mean, there's that hand that I saw, which I know that's not. And we're going to get into another fascinating part about what was embedded in that hand, which we can't skip over. But before we get into that, were there any bodies of the ones that were what do you call it, 3 meters, that were you able to find any intact? No, just a few appendages.
Just a few hands.
Yeah.
We don't have any complete body, but these hands has the I don't know, say arrancamiento. When you pull it out, the hand, without carefully, they took it out.
Oh, that's what they.
And you see this big hand has 45 centimeters, and also has the first bone is the metacarpus.
Right.
But then we have 3 phalanges.
Right.
This big hand has 6 phalanges. That's why the fingers are too long. Because they have 6 phalanges.
Wow.
Also, I remember that they are capable to involve
right
whatever they want to hold it.
Sure. And I mean, unless, which would be very, very strange, like unless that was like almost like a wisdom tooth feature that happened with age, you would have to say that that's a different species, or at least a cousin or a variation of because there's a difference between 5 and 6,
Three that we have,
Right.
and any mammal in the earth has 3,
Right.
and the smallest species has 5, and these hands, big hands,
Right.
has 6.
Wow.
Another thing I want to say before I forget it, the big bodies are 3-finger.
Right.
Well, they have 4 and 5 phalanges. 4 and 5. Some of them has 4. Some of them has 5 phalanges. So the number of phalanges change between each species.
Yeah. Which would, yeah.
So these species, they are totally new. They are not described in the normal and biological taxonomy of Darwin.
No,
So
not at all.
it's a great discovery.
It's a phenomenal discovery. There's all kinds of, we have a template that we can look at among the animals on this planet to gather and observe what we're seeing in these discoveries. So the fact that we see nature working the way it works, even in animals today, like the crocodile, like the duck-billed platypus.
Yes.
It just screams of validity, that this is something that needs to be really explored as far as it possibly can, and then brought to the public in a way that's honest instead of the skullduggery that goes on with everything regarding these issues, which has to do with control, which I talk about extensively in every other, which we won't get into so much here. But what's amazing is, so they found a bunch of those, like I saw one big hand,
Isolated hand.
yeah,
Yes.
and I saw
There are like 20 or 30 isolated hands of this size.
and where did they all see? That's so strange, like did they seem cut off? Like were they all about the same size where they were cut off, and did they all? So what they discovered in these big hands, the ones with the 6, what do you call them?
Phalanges?
Phalanges, yeah. Was a metal alloy embedded into the, like the same side as the palm on that, like above the wrist.
You have the all right reason. There is many bodies and many isolated pieces like the hands that has metal inside and outside. There are bodies that has inside just with the bones has metal covering the bones, and there are another like these hands that has metal just over the skin,
The top.
but if you analyze that, you can see by a microscope that this metal is fusion
It's fused.
with the skin.
Wow.
There is not over the metal and down the skin. No, they are fusioned.
Wow.
Fuse with the fusion with the skin. So this kind of metal is like a biological prosthesis working with the skin.
Right. And it had to have been developed in a way that made it non-toxic and compatible with their biology.
Incredible question. We take samples of this metal and we found different things. First of all, this metal has, in some cases, has argentum, silver, with high quality of purity, 98, 99% of purity.
Pure silver, yeah.
So this is very strange in the nature because you need higher metallurgical processes to get that purity.
Right.
So this is the one thing is strange. The second thing is strange. It's the many kind of metals has this metal that has the alloy in these metals has arum, gold, argentum, silver, cadmium, osmium, and copper. But the main thing of this is the cadmium and osmium, because these two elements are recently discovered. 200 years ago, we discovered these metals.
Wow.
And this metal, cadmium and osmium, we use in space technology of communications between satellites.
Really?
So what are doing
Wow.
cadmium and osmium in these metals 1,000 years ago?
Wow. And copper is a great
So-
conductor, gold, silver. Wow. So and was because I saw, and I was trying to figure out from the video I saw, but obviously there was these plates, and I think some of the video I saw also showed like there was some metal on. Was it just the possibly the third species, or was there also metal alloys found in the other two species?
We found metals in all the species.
Wow.
So, for example, Sebastian has all the neck with metal. Montserrat has one in the front,
Wow.
in the forefront, and this is the most purity with gold.
Wow.
And Josefina, the small one with 3X, Josefina has metal inside because she has broken his spine. And in that point that she broke the spine, there are some metal working. Also, Josefina has in the chest 1, 2 with two circles.
Yeah.
And unit with a line in her chest. So
That's what that was. I saw the video. Yeah.
yes, so it's pretty interesting what this metal is used for. For example, for that broken pieces, or for example, for something like ritual, or something like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's fascinating.
Yes.
I have the video here that
Josefina is the one who has in the chest.
right. I was and it's kind of where her breast would be.
Yeah.
So I thought, was that a metal plate, or were they trying to show that this is a female? I couldn't tell, but I was trying to figure it out.
Well, that metal in her chest is exactly positioned with the spine she has broke.
Wow. So it's here's I have
That's it.
yeah.
These two images, this is a fake.
Oh, that's
this
okay.
is a real. This is like a doll,
Right.
And this is the real. This doll has 20 centimeters high, and Josefina has.
And that's the metal plate.
That's the metal plate.
Right.
That's it. This is the metal plate, and the other side in the spine, he has a broken spine here.
Wow.
Broken vertebra.
Oh, wow. We'll make sure we show the.
Yeah. This is the plate, the metal plate, and she has a broken spine there.
Wow, and so it's possible that they could have been attempting to fix that spine. I mean,
Maybe.
if she's like a crocodile, then if she's like a crocodile, if because their skeletal structure is similar to a crocodile, they have incredible regeneration. That humans don't.
They have a regeneration, incredible regeneration.
Yeah.
That we don't have.
That's
So
right.
It could be possible, something like that. It could be possible. We don't know yet.
And we don't have. We know that the skulls, so I'm looking at the the skulls.
Okay, this is Josefina.
Josefina,
Yes.
yeah. So were all the skulls of both?
If you stop here,
Yeah.
you can see. You can see. This is the skull. This is the neck. This is the metal plate. This is the spine.
Spine,
the
yeah.
spine of the vertebra. This is the ribs, complete the ribs. And this is the belly. Inside there were the
eggs.
the eggs, and you can see the three finger in the hand, but you can see the whole structure of tendons,
Tendons, ligaments, yeah.
ligaments, muscles, everything is inside.
Yeah, we'll
So
see.
if you want to replicate that, it's
Good. Yeah, there's a big job waiting for you in Hollywood if you can replicate that. My God, that's
you will be the best
incredible.
surgeon in the world if you can replicate that.
So we'll show this for our for
That's Sebastian. If you look, Sebastian has a metal plate in the neck.
in the neck. Wow.
Yes.
So we'll show this for our audio listeners. You know, we're looking at. I mean,
in this kind of bodies, this kind of bodies that we call the bigger bodies, it's incredible because we have Sebastian and we have Santiago. We take X-rays and we can be able to see the mixed denture, the primary denture and the second one, the permanent.
Oh wow!
The permanent teeth.
There's the metal in the neck you mentioned.
That's the metal in the neck of Sebastian.
Wow!
There are three fingers.
You even see the toenail. They look like the little toenails, right?
Yes.
Is that? But they do look like what we would call grays. You know, they look like
They look
the
pretty
small
similar.
sizes.
Yes. The size.
There's
you see the teeth. So the teeth we can allow.
Oh yeah.
We can allow this body has the whole odontological procedure.
Oh yeah.
And it show us that is a juvenile.
It's a juvenile. Yeah, because the wisdom.
Are around 11 years old.
Wow. Yep. There it is. Yeah. See.
Yeah. So you can see the permanent, and you can see the permanent not descendant.
Right.
So this is the remove. I don't know how to say the teeth that we remove.
Yeah.
And this is a permanent.
Right.
So
Those are the
this is a juvenile specimen because it's
still got his baby teeth.
Yes, has the baby teeth in change.
Right. I wonder.
Around 11.
Wow. I wonder if they had the tooth fairy.
Between 7 and between 11 years old.
Amazing. My God. This must have been so exciting when you started working on it, you know, and just
for me is the dream come true in my job.
Yeah.
As a forensic, be able to analyze these bodies with different characteristics, unique characteristics. It's a dream come true.
It's amazing. You know, we've seen skeletal structures of elongated heads, you know, and we find those here and there, but we've never found any kind of, variant DNA, skeletal structure DNA to go along with those. And of course they say, oh, well, you know, they can make the head bigger by squeezing it.
Yes.
But some of that checks out, some of it doesn't. It's not to say that it was never done, because we think that they did that then in imitation of some of the ones that had that elongated head. But the sutures in the skull tell the tale, right? I mean, like, so we have in our DNA, in our right now, when we breathe, the skull is almost like there's a little bit of movement in it, right? It's not fixed.
That's it.
Whereas some of these skulls don't have those.
Well, when we get birth, the skeleton is not fusioned. It's
It's not
open.
fused, right.
It's not fused. It's opened. Between we grow up, 1 year, 2 years, it's fused.
Right.
Okay. Well, if you squeeze the bones, the remains of the line that you made the pressure is permanent. So if you go and saw skulls that were squeezed,
Right.
you will be able to find the line to the pressure. Okay. In these skulls, we don't find
No.
any kind of squishing in
Right.
them. Also, we have the sutures like the frontal, the sagittal. Okay, in some of these skulls are missing one or two of these
Right.
sutures. They have the sagittal, but it's missing the occipital, and it's missing in some of them the frontal
Wow.
suture. So it's very strange. That allows that the skull is bigger, more or less 30% bigger than us.
Wow.
So if we measure the skull of Maria, you will find and you will discover it's bigger. The face is exactly like us, but the eyes are bigger, and the space in the brain space is 30% bigger than us.
Wow.
So what do you think about that?
That's mind blowing. That's the variation speaks to, I think, an ongoing generational experiment, by probably the beings with the big hands, in tinkering with and playing with DNA and trying to come to a result. Possibly, I don't know, because it just seems like what else would be going on? They're different. They seem to be different from each size.
Yes. Two things here.
Yeah.
If someday we're able to find the bodies
Of the big ones.
from the big hands, we get a big surprise, because bodies from 2.5, 3 meters
Yeah.
tall.
That's like 9 feet.
It's exciting. And
Yeah.
also, how will be the size of the skull?
Yeah.
It will be
Big.
incredible big.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm telling you guys, the hand I
The
saw
hands,
was
yes.
the size of starting at my elbow and ending at my.
but also something that we doesn't do yet, the DNA, the comparison, the DNA between species. We didn't compare the small with the bigger, and also we didn't compare with the DNA from this hand.
Right.
So when we can be able to compare the DNA between these three different of species, we will have a surprise in there.
Yeah.
Also, in the bigger bodies like Maria, Montserrat, Santiago, Sebastian, etc., if we pay attention in that, check this. We have a mature woman like Maria. We have an older woman like Paloma. We have Sebastian, a teenager. We have Santiago, a child around 5 years old. We have Montserrat, juvenile, around 18, 20s. Inside Montserrat, we have a fetus, tridactyl fetus. Well, if we compare the DNA between each of one, maybe we can find some related parents.
Right.
The evolution of one of these species.
Right. Right. That's what I was thinking. It would be fascinating. I wonder where those big bodies went. I wonder why just the hands were left, and the fact that the hands have this, metallic alloy, which, I would assume served a technological purpose. It would make sense. Some kind of everything in that alloy is very conducive to signals. So, God, it just to speculate where they came from and what happened to them and why they were only found in this one little part of the world, that maybe we'll find, that would be really mind-blowing if we find similar bodies someplace else and then they come to light and it would be,
I'm totally agree with you.
Yeah.
If you can see, this is very important discovery.
Yeah.
And we only are in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
That's why it's very important the community, the whole community, get involved in this, because we have to search and investigate many things that we can do and we don't know how yet.
It's, this is obviously theory, but, it seems there's been a very obvious and concerted effort to keep this information from the public and they have their reasons, but I think most of those reasons are BS. I think they're bullshit. I think that the bulk of the reason why they, even going back to 1910 when they found all those remnants in the Grand Canyon, they immediately seized them and they sent them to the Smithsonian and pretended like they didn't find what appeared to be ancient hieroglyphic artifacts and things in the middle of North America that looked like what we had been looking at in Egypt for the longest time. Why the cover up? Why the selective portion of like, okay, well, we can't let them know about that. We don't want them to know about that because that might challenge. To me, it's all about control. It's about controlling the human belief system. How else do you keep 8 billion people, from deciding, wait a minute, why are we paying taxes again? You don't own the earth. The earth was here. We're not going to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like they don't want people thinking
Yes.
in a grander scale, because they would see that, in many ways we're being manipulated in a way that you could make a great case that is, akin to an enslavement, a debt enslavement worker class of people who don't realize their potential because they're too busy digging, and working. So, what are your thoughts on it? Because you've been obviously, you were targeted, you were pressured by the military that you love to lie about what you found. What and this is a story that's repeated, certainly in America, I'm sure in the UK, I'm sure in a lot of places where they insist that you not tell the truth about these particular kinds of, let's say, exotic issues, right? Why do you think that is? Why are they so hell bent on keeping that out of the public's belief system?
Well, I'm not feeling special. I'm not feeling unique.
Mm-hmm.
But I think two things. The primary is envy. The people, it's envy. Something that I trying to understand is that some of my bosses feels envy that what I'm doing because I'm doing something that they don't. Mm-hmm. I'm doing something incredible. They don't. So maybe I am taking this smaller, reduced to envy, but I want to think that way.
Right.
The second thing, the human beings always been afraid in front something
New and
something that they don't understand.
yeah.
Afraid is okay, but you have to go over the afraid,
Get over the fear. Yeah.
the fear, and find what's happened. Well, of course, I'm afraid that everything I'm finding here, and of course, I'm afraid the repercussions I have to
Deal with, yeah.
deal with. But I feel something inside of me that tell me, go forward.
Yeah.
Go forward, because someday, the humankind will be able to say, okay, at least there are two new species that we have to recognize in the biology of the earth, at least. But what happens if this is not from here?
Right.
It will be something that change the whole world as we know.
Right.
And be a part of this, for me, is transcendental.
Transcendental, yeah.
Because I want to make proud my father, my mom.
Of course.
And also I want to my kids be proud of his father.
Right.
So the only way I think, and I truly believe, the only way to do the right thing is telling the truth.
Yeah.
So I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the evidence I have. Okay, I could be in a mistake.
Right.
But I never be a liar.
Right. That's right. You could make a mistake, but it doesn't make you a liar.
That's it. So I truly believe the evidence I have, and I have the obligation to talk about that.
That's why you're here.
Yes.
That's why you're here. Listen, it takes incredible courage and integrity and heart to stay true to yourself, to your word, you know? And that's why I had to, when I learned about you and I met you in Mexico City, I had to get you into my podcast and sit with you and talk to you, because I just knew that, you know, your story was unique, and I don't know how much the American public has learned, you know, I mean, there's internet videos, but I'm not sure there's many podcasts with, you know, people who were literally working hands-on with these bodies as you have been, and, you know, who have seen and been part of the testing, you know, not just looking at results, because of course results can be created, you know, but when you're there and watching the scans and you're waiting for you're witnessing everything. There's no break in the, you know, the integrity of the chain of, you know, not command, but like you were a party to all of these tests every step of the way. And so it's incredible that there's so many people out there that want to dismiss instead of be curious and open-minded about it, you know.
Be curious, open-minded, yes.
You know, like, not everything is an elaborate hoax for monetary gain. I'm not sure what gain this would be. You know, I mean, Jaime, I'm sure, has spent a lot more money than he will ever make back on these bodies, you know, trying to...
That's important to say. Jaime has spent many money in this, but I want to say I don't receive any payment for this.
No.
I didn't receive any payment. I'm doing this by my own. That's it.
That's good to know. That's good to know, because people will say, "Oh, well, you know, he's getting paid to say that," or
nope.
He's going to try to sell a book, or, you know, not that you shouldn't write a book, but they always come up with a reason why you shouldn't believe, you know, something new.
Actually, that's one of the reasons that I am here.
Yeah.
First of all, the confidence that you go and try to see that by yourself, that's amazing, because not much people do that.
Right.
Much people stay back, back in the seats and open the mouth, but from the seats.
Right.
You stand up and go for it.
Right.
That's one. The second, because your impartial point of view it's important to me because you are honest. So that's why I'm here, and I'm
Thank you,
grateful and thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you. It's an honor. When we were in Mexico City, Jose realized that your sister was a fan of the podcast.
Yes.
And he came up to me and he said, "Would you record a video for my?" And I said, "Of course." And Carolina.
Carolina, yes.
So I said, Catalina, thank you so much for watching the podcast, and appreciate it. And then Jose sent her the video. He was so happy. It was a wonderful, touching moment. It was so cool to see that your sister knew about the podcast, and she lives in Mexico City.
She lives in Puebla, in Cholula, Puebla.
Oh wow, even better. That's amazing. I bet you her algorithms connected because of your work, maybe me to her, in the recommendations. Who knows how that happened?
Yes.
But that's amazing. Wow. So if this world accepts this discovery as genuine, what do you think humanity's next move should be?
Wow. Okay. First of all, I don't think the human realize this is real in my time. Maybe realize this is real when I
we're gone.
go. Yeah. But when the human being realize this is real, maybe, and I hope that, change the mind, be humble, and understand that we are not alone, but we need to protect that we have, that someone in the universe give us life, our life, the life in earth. We have to protect the life.
Absolutely, we do, and we're not doing a good job of it right now.
No, we are doing a disaster.
Yes, it is. That's well put. It's a disaster, and I think when this human family of ours wakes up and realizes the greater truths about our reality, the ones that have been very methodically kept from us, sadly, which limit our understanding of ourselves, of our nature, of the incredible divine connectivity we have to the Creator, and what we have in common with life, not only on this planet, but as far as the eye can see. We will treat ourselves and our beautiful, Mother Earth with so much more respect. That the world would completely change, and I think that's why there's so many powers that move to make sure that this information is not the spark that starts that revolution, because it will be a revolution of consciousness and of heart, and of compassion and awareness, and respect for nature, But you also have, I know that you have maybe another year in the military, and you're working on some very, very the kind of stuff that Netflix likes to make shows about. You're also working with Jaime. So Jaime Maussan is an incredible individual. He's a billionaire who lives in Mexico City. Has set up institutions and his own television broadcast. He's got his own line of products. And he's known to be eccentric, but he's very kind. I met him. He's highly passionate about trying to bring some truth to people, not just in Mexico, but around the world. And he uses his incredible resources for good, unlike most very, very rich people. So I know you're working with Jaime. I know people who see this, I know that social media is probably, you don't have a lot of time for it, but are you on social media? Is there any way people can keep up with you? Do you have like a Twitter or X account?
Okay, that's a great question. I don't have personal social media, because in the Navy, the work I used to do in the Navy, I prefer.
I hear you.
But if someone if someone wants to contact me or talk with me, please feel free to be
Sure.
be you the way.
Yes.
Be
Yeah.
you the way.
They can always reach out through the podcast, and
Yes.
you know, we have social media accounts on every platform. So there's any number of ways if you would like to reach out to Dr. Zalce, you can. But I'm looking for the next article, so man, this has been amazing. I'm so glad that you got here and that we made this happen. This conversation is definitely one of the most incredible conversations I've ever had on my podcast, and it's an honor to have a man such as yourself in my home with my family. Thank you to everyone who's listening. We have a lot of great stuff coming out. And make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you can also listen to us on Spotify and iTunes. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please share it. Write us a review. If you have the chance to drop us 5 stars, we're trying to build our audience, and we need your help. If you want to support my work, I have a Patreon page as well. We're working on, getting our logo into a better place with the merch, but we're doing customizable merch for people who want to partake in Patreon in a certain tier. And you guys know my logo is off the charts. It's so cool. So we've created some really cool stuff for you guys to check out, and it's a bunch of freedom-loving, spiritual people in a community, and they get early access to all episodes, including this one. So that being said, thank you guys so much for beaming in. Jose, we're going to have to do it again one day.
I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. You are a great guy, and you made me feel comfortable. Besides, my English is...
You did great.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome,
for
brother.
helping me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
It's a privilege being here with you.
Same feeling is mutual. Thank you.